Comparison of beliefs: Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism. Introduction. Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism are three of the major religions that originated in India and have shaped the cultural, philosophical, and spiritual landscape of the region for centuries. While they share common roots and many similar concepts, each religion has developed its own unique set of beliefs, practices, and interpretations of the world. Understanding these similarities and differences is crucial for anyone interested in the history and philosophy of South Asia. This video will explore the key beliefs of Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism, highlighting where they intersect and where they diverge, as well as providing information on their origins and the number of followers they have today. Origins and followers. Hinduism is the oldest of the three religions, with roots that go back over 4,000 years, making it one of the oldest religions in the world. It is believed to have developed gradually over time, starting around 1500 BCE, with the arrival of the Indo-Aryans in the Indian subcontinent. Today, Hinduism is the third largest religion globally, with approximately 1.2 billion followers, most of whom live in India and Nepal. Jainism emerged around the 6th century BCE during a time of religious and social transformation in India. It was founded by Mahavir, who was considered the 24th Tirthankar, or spiritual teacher in the Jain tradition. Jainism has a much smaller following compared to Hinduism, with an estimated 4 to 6 million adherents, primarily concentrated in India. Buddhism was also founded in the 6th century BCE by Siddhartha Gautama, who became known as the Buddha, or the Awakened One. Buddhism spread rapidly throughout Asia and became one of the major world religions. Today, there are approximately 520 million Buddhists worldwide, with significant population in countries like China, Japan, Thailand, and Myanmar. Common concepts. One of the most striking similarities between these three religions is their shared belief in the concepts of karma and rebirth. In all three religions, karma refers to the idea that a person's actions have consequences that affect their future, both in this life and in future lives. Good actions lead to positive outcomes, while bad actions result in negative consequences. This cycle of action and consequence is believed to continue across multiple lifetimes through the process of rebirth, where the soul or consciousness is born into a new body after death. Another common concept is the belief in the possibility of liberation from the cycle of rebirth. In all three religions, this state of liberation is seen as the ultimate goal of spiritual practice. However, they differ in the understanding of what liberation entails and how it is achieved. Key beliefs in Hinduism. Hinduism is characterized by its belief in Brahman, the ultimate reality or world soul, which is the source and essence of all existence. Hindus believe that every individual soul, known as Atma, is a part of Brahman and that realizing this unity is the key to achieving moksha or liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Hinduism is also rooted in the authority of the Vedas, a collection of ancient texts that are considered to be divinely revealed. The Vedas contain hymns, rituals, and philosophical teachings that form the foundation of Hindu religious practice. Alongside the Vedas, other important texts in Hinduism include Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Ramayana. Another important aspect of Hinduism is its recognition of a multitude of gods and goddesses, each representing different aspects of Brahman. This polytheistic aspect of Hinduism allows for a wide variety of worship practices, with different deities being venerated, in different regions and communities. Key beliefs in Buddhism. Buddhism differs from Hinduism in several key ways, particularly in its rejection of the authority of the Vedas and the caste system, which is central to Hindu society. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is the Four Noble Truths, which outline the nature of suffering and the path to cessation. The Four Noble Truths are: number 1, the truth of suffering, dukkha. Life is filled with suffering and dissatisfaction. Number 2, the truth of the cause of suffering, samudaya. Suffering is caused by craving and attachment. Number 3, the truth of the end of suffering, nirodha. By overcoming craving and attachment, one can achieve the cessation of suffering. Number 4, the truth of the path to the end of suffering, magga. The Eightfold Path is a practical guide to ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom, which includes right understanding, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Unlike Hinduism, Buddhism does not believe in an eternal soul or self, Atma. Instead, it teaches the doctrine of anatta, or no self, which asserts that what we consider to be the self is merely a collection of changing physical and mental components. Liberation in Buddhism, known as nirvana, is achieved by realizing the truth of anatta and overcoming the cycle of rebirth. Buddhism generally rejects the concept of a creator god or a supreme being who governs the universe. Instead, Buddhism focuses on the individual's path to enlightenment through understanding the nature of reality, practicing ethical conduct, and developing mental discipline and wisdom. In Buddhist teachings, there are beings known as devas or gods. But these are not eternal or omnipotent beings like the gods in other religions. Instead, devas are seen as higher beings who are also subject to the laws of karma and samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. They may have longer lifespans and more power than humans, but they are not considered creators or ultimate beings. The Buddha himself discouraged his followers from engaging in worship of gods, emphasizing instead the importance of personal effort in attaining enlightenment, nirvana. The focus in Buddhism is on understanding the Four Noble Truths and following the Eightfold Path to achieve liberation from suffering rather than relying on divine intervention. This rejection of a creator god distinguishes Buddhism from many other major religions such as Hinduism and the Abrahamic faiths, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, which typically include belief in a supreme deity or deities. Key beliefs in Jainism. Jainism, like Buddhism, emerged as a reaction to the religious and social conditions in ancient India, particularly the dominance of the Brahman caste and the rituals prescribed in the Vedas. Jainism was founded by Mahavir, who is considered the 24th Tirthankar or spiritual teacher in the Jain tradition. One of the central beliefs in Jainism is the concept of ahimsa or non-violence, which is taken to an extreme in Jain practice. Jains believe that all living beings, including plants or microorganisms, possess a soul, jiva, and are capable of experiencing pain and suffering. As a result, Jains take great care to avoid causing harm to any living being, and this principle of non-violence extends to their diet, lifestyle, and even their professions. Jainism also emphasizes the importance of self-discipline and asceticism as a means of purifying the soul and achieving liberation. Jains believe that the soul is inherently pure but is tainted by karma, which binds it to the cycle of rebirth. Through rigorous spiritual practice, including fasting, meditation, and renunciation of worldly possessions, Jains seek to burn off this karma and attain moksha. Unlike Buddhism, Jainism believes in the existence of an eternal soul, jiva, that is distinct from the body and continues to exist after death. However, unlike the Hindu concept of Atma, the Jain jiva is seen as individual and unique to each living being. Jainism rejects the idea of a supreme god or creator, instead focusing on the individual's responsibility for their own spiritual progress. Differences and similarities. While Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism share many common concepts, their differences are equally significant. Hinduism's belief in Brahman and the authority of the Vedas sets it apart from the other two religions, both of which reject these concepts. Buddhism's doctrine of anatta, or no self, is a major point of divergence from both Hinduism and Jainism, which believe in the existence of a soul. Jainism's extreme emphasis on non-violence sets it apart from both Hinduism and Buddhism. While all three religions value the principle of ahimsa or non-violence, Jainism takes this concept to its most literal and comprehensive expression, influencing every aspect of life from diet and occupation to religious practices and daily behavior. This unwavering commitment to non-violence underscores the Jain belief in the sanctity of all life and the importance of avoiding harm to any living being, no matter how small. This dedication not only distinguishes Jainism from other Indian religions, but also highlights the unique ethical framework that defines Jain spirituality and practice. Despite these differences, the three religions have influenced each other in various ways over the centuries. For example, the concept of karma, which is central to all three religions, likely developed through a process of mutual influence and adaptation. Similarly, the emphasis on meditation and ethical conduct is a common thread that runs through all three traditions, although each interprets these practices differently. Conclusion. Buddhism, Jainism, and Hinduism are three distinct yet interrelated religions that have shaped the spiritual landscape of India and beyond. While they share common roots and concepts, each religion offers a unique perspective on the nature of existence, the self, and the path to liberation. By understanding both the similarities and differences between these traditions, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the rich and diverse religious heritage of South Asia. Today, with millions of followers around the world, these religions continue to influence the lives and beliefs of people, contributing to the global tapestry of religious and philosophical thought.